received a call from an inmate at the Department of Corrections. This call will be recorded and monitored. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To accept this call, press 5 now. To decline this call, hang up.
Okay, dog. How are you? Yeah, it's been kind of rough for a lot of people out there, with the inflation going on and crime. It seems like it's on a rise, but you just got your own little world to live in, and that's all that matters right now. Yes, I am working with him right now, and he does have quite a bit of talent. I'm very impressed, and that's the kind of stuff we want to relay to everybody. Right. Yeah, I know. There. I've been telling folks there's carpenters in there, there's construction workers, electricians, plumbers, auto mechanics. It doesn't matter what race or religion or profession or age, crime affects everyone, and it is non-discriminatory. And so we as humans want to try to separate it. Maybe we might think some people are more prone to commit crimes than others, but crime is diverse. It's all inclusive. It really does not care. And having people in there that are artists and entertainers is quite impressive. And I understand there's ball players and stuff in there too that are really good. Right. I did have him sing to me, and he's got a great voice. He's an amazing writer. I've already published one of his stories, and he's a we're in talks of doing something else, and so it will be really nice to get his take on it out there. And he said he was watching a story about him, and it was there. They had the daughter of one of his victims on there, and her appearance on this show really touched him, and he just decided to take a chance, and he wrote a letter and contacted his attorney to see if he could get it out to her, and they just thought, well, we got nothing to lose, and they were able to get a letter to her, and she wrote him, and she wasn't resentful and angry and stuff. It was just more or less like when you forgive somebody, you're not doing it for the person who committed the wrong. A lot of folks who are forgiven, they never know it. Forgiveness is for the person who was wrong. It helps them to let go of something that's going to pain them for the rest of their lives. And there's folks out there who want that pain. They don't want to forget that this crime was committed. They don't want to forget who committed it. And they don't want to release that pain from them. But don't fall for that myth that forgiveness is what helps the perpetrator. Because, like I said, there's a lot of folks out there who have been forgiven and they'll never know it. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's happened to quite a few people in there. And some folks, they feel that if they walk up to the person and say, I forgive you, it will give that person some kind of glory or satisfaction. And in most cases, at least the ones that I've run across, it doesn't change the fact that it happened. And the victim does feel
You have
trauma,
60 seconds remaining.
does feel guilt, and that's not going to go away. And for the most part, we don't want it to go away. Okay, gotcha. That is so true. And not only do both parties have a good positive
You have 30 seconds remaining.
response to that, it's something that it sets an example for other people in the future. That if you set out and you try, you may be able to win the heart of the person that you've wronged. Yes, that's what rehabilitation. Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for the call and the heads up, and I will talk to you later. You too. And I hope everything works out for you.
Thank you for using Inmate Call. Goodbye.
Hello, welcome to AQS Inmate Call. I am your host, Joel Wilborn, and this episode is about a gentleman that I met through another person. He was referred to me, and he had a nickname given to him by the press and by the local police officers that was based on him wooing women by playing his guitar and singing country songs, and he was always dressed like a cowboy. So they called him Cowboy Mike. And if you do a internet search on Cowboy Mike, most likely you're going to get the name Michael Braae. And Michael Braae was convicted of a murder, and he's suspected of being a serial killer, although they haven't definitively linked him to any other murders. But he's sitting in prison. He has a 48-year sentence. It happened in the early years of the 21st century. And what was interesting is when I talk to folks, especially people who are high profile, I'm not really interested in their crime. And the reason I'm not is because all I'd be doing is just rehashing what's already out there. And I'm not interested in finding new stuff because the person's already been convicted. It's not like we're trying to pin another crime on them. And why bother? They're sitting in prison. And you can pretty much do an internet search and go to the library. You can get information on the person if you want, even really specific information. I'm interested in the things that go on after the fact, post-crime. And rehabilitation is a big thing. If these people commit these terrible crimes and get locked up for decades, what do we get out of it? Now, in this particular case, murderers, they do belong in prison. And especially those that are more likely to reoffend. There's violent offenders in there who would get out and commit another crime, even by their own admission. Now, I'm not sure if Michael Braae would do that. I asked him, I said, I don't think you'll get out and commit any more crimes like this. And he said, no, he's not. He's learned his lesson. He has had many years to think about it. And, we can take that with a grain of salt. And even he may at times doubt what will happen, because whatever triggered him in the first place, if we don't pinpoint that and get a hold of it, it can trigger again. If the person gets drunk and then gets very violent and hurts people, and we take away their alcohol, that doesn't stop him from committing any more crimes. He'll say, me getting drunk causes me to commit these crimes, yet I enjoy being drunk. And you take the alcohol away, and somehow he finds the alcohol and then drinks it and gets violent again. So you got to work on a way to motivate the person not to want to do alcohol anymore or commit any more crimes. And to do that, the person has to find it within themselves to get that strength, to get that courage to fight the crime motivator. And I don't know what the DOC has specifically done to help Michael Braae to overcome the urges that caused him to commit these crimes in the first place. But if he dwells within himself and finds that strength to fight this terrible urge to commit a crime, then we might as well just give him credit for it, that he did it. He's gotten away with the solution to his dilemma. And maybe after 48 years, he will get out, move in next door to you, and you'll never know. Unless he happens to tell you his name and you do an internet search. So, what I like to do in situations like this is try to find out how real is this rehabilitation? How much of an effect did it have on him? And is it actually working? Is it going to make a difference to the world there? So I'm talking to him not about the crime. You guys can go look up Michael Braae and read all about him, see videos on YouTube. I just want to know, what kind of contribution can you make to society? We know what you've done to get put in there, and we know what you've done to that society decided you didn't need to live amongst us right now. What can you do for us now? And he didn't have a guitar with him, but while he was on the phone, he did sing a song for me that he wrote, and it sounded really nice. I could see how people could be captivated by his talent. But he wrote some short stories, and he was wanting to get them exposed. And of course, nobody really wants to deal with them. And you might be one of them. You just don't want anything to do with a convicted murderer or a serial killer or a rapist. But I think for those who like raw talent, who enjoy something new, and who are intrigued by the fact that this person has such a tainted background, and he's producing these stories. Now, he told me in the story that I published, which is called The Street Performer, that some of the stories that he writes are a reflection of his real life experiences. And while I was reading this story, I thought, I wonder if this has anything to do with him. And yeah, I don't know what aspects of it are based on the truth, but being a cowboy with a guitar, singing a song on the corner for money being thrown in a guitar case, that seemed a lot like what he went through. And if you were to read that story in a local newspaper, maybe the features section, and they had short stories from local talent, and nobody said anything about the background, you might immediately think, I wonder if this is based a little bit on his own life or somebody that he knows. But I don't think you'd associate it with a convicted murderer. And knowing his story and then seeing pictures and images and stuff of him and his background, and then reading this story, it might lead you to believe that there could be a little bit of truth in this story. And he sent me another one, and he's hopefully going to send me some more. And one of them, he said, that definitely did happen. It is more of a true story than not. And that's neat, because I get to hear straight from the source a part of the life before this terrible crime was committed. And the more we know about a person, the easier it is for us to share that with other folks and help other people realize that there are folks out there who think the same way they do and who are going through the same situations that they're going to, and chose a path that they may have been considering. Maybe these people are angry at women, or they're vindictive against society, and they just want to take out revenge. And maybe looking at this person's life and seeing how the wrong choice got them into so much trouble, maybe they might say, you know what, it's not worth it. Or maybe they just might say, no, it's not going to happen to me. I'm different. I know better. But we won't know unless we try, unless we share his story with other folks and we share our experiences with other folks, because even as victims, we can share stories. And yes, Michael Braae was watching a news story about his life, and a lot of news magazines like to do that because they describe the crime or revisit an anniversary. And he saw the daughter of his victim, and she was just distraught, and he felt bad. He actually thought, I don't want her feeling that way. I don't want her thinking that of me. So he did write her a letter, and she wrote back, and he said it really touched him that she did that. And he hopes that she feels a little bit better after reaching out to him. And I don't need to know what was in the letter or what they discussed, but the result was he felt good. And that's what we're looking for. Now, when he writes these stories, and hopefully you'll listen to him, you think, could this guy do this? Could he continue to write stories? Could he put them in a blog? Would people want to hear this, knowing his background? Do we need to hide his background? He did publish some stories on a website, and he remained anonymous. He didn't want his name put out there. And I told him, that's one of the things that's going to attract the folks. The fact that it's associated with this Cowboy Mike person, this person who's a convicted murderer. And I said, once they see that and their curiosity tunes them into it, reading the story, seeing what's happened after the conviction, that might convince them that correctional centers do work. That the reason we lock people up is not necessarily to forget about them, but to put them back out into society in a better shape than they were when they went in there. Healthier, happier, more in control of their life, and less likely to make the decision that will get them in trouble again. And of course, when I talk to people, I don't see that happening. And usually the people I work with don't go back. And I like to publish that on Facebook and other social outlets just to let folks know these people are doing well. They got out. And, if you send a person to college, you want them to come out a smarter person and get a good job. And you want them to have a talent that they can share with the world. And correctional centers should be doing pretty much the same thing. We're bringing you in here, and we're going to help you become the best person that you can become. And we don't want to see you again. That's what they should be advertising. Once you leave, we don't want you to come back. We don't ever want to hear about you again unless it's something positive. And that's not a bad thing. That's something we should look forward to. So hopefully you will tune into my YouTube channel. Go to the Joel Wilborn YouTube channel and look up Michael Braae, or just do an internet search on him. And his last name spelled Braae should be on the title. And compare notes. See what you think before, during, and after. Very rare you get to see that. So please go out, talk to your friends and family, discuss events that are happening around your community and around the world, and things that affect you directly. And if there's anything bothering somebody, bothering you or bothering your friends, let's get it out and talk it over and see if we can find good solutions for it. And there's a lot of books, a lot of instructors, videos that touch subjects that may affect you directly. And let's all tap into that. But you want to start with your own friends and family. It's a good place to begin the process. So, thanks for giving me part of your valuable time. And go out and have yourself a magnificent day and work and make fantastic memories for tomorrow.